Right, good afternoon, evening, guys. There's been a lot of changes. I was watching a movie earlier on and decided, oh, I'll put a game on, and it ended up being out of order. And to be honest with you, I thought I was on a different game save, and I wasn't. I was on this one, and so I've been working on this for like the last 3 hours, nearly 4, and realised I was on the wrong game save. So I am sorry that you haven't seen all the work I've done, but let's continue. So all of this looks normal. The main differences are that there is now a big ass platform over here. Oh, and there's a conveyor belt running down the side of there, which goes underneath. No, I haven't got power on it. I must have missed it. So yep, there's new lights in here and everything. So the plan still is to get rid of all that and to dig that right back. Now the only issue is that I found another one up here. And this one's a lot richer than that one, and it's a lot easier to do stuff with. And I believe it might go through here somewhere as well. Because it started there. It literally started just here where the loader is. So I don't know how far back it'll go, but seeing that there is where those stacks are up over there, that's all coal. So it could be that this goes all the way back there and just covers that whole side, which means it's fucking huge. So there might be a absolutely massive what do you call it, plant put into place as well. Then a massive oil, fuel, all that kind of stuff plant. So we've been making our own fuel basically. And the fuel one will have a fuel pipe going to over there over here where we've got that up there. That up there is going to be repurposed. So most of the stuff is going to get ripped out of that. It's going to be repurposed for the oil tanks, because the coal is literally just under the ground there. So we shall see how far we go with this, but the plan today is literally to dig some more of this coal out. We've got a quest on the go. We'll have probably another quest after that, and then we'll start digging that way. But we shall see. But I used the I bought a dozer today, and first time I've ever used a dozer, and it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. If you get it right, keep the bucket down, you know, put GPS on it, keep the bucket down and stuff, keep that at the right height, the same as what you do with this. It's not too bad. To be honest, I'm glad that that guy that's building the road on One Eyes isn't in here, because it means I could talk about him. But he, personally speaking, I think he should be using a loader, and not a big loader either. An L11, so the same size as this, or even an L8. Well, that L11 would probably be alright, but the reason behind that is that you can only do so much with a dozer, and all you're doing, I mean, yes, you are digging it out, but you're just pushing it from one place to another. When you could be sitting somewhere else and just use a loader, and you can literally get everything. I lost my train of thought. You could get everything, say, put onto a conveyor belt, run a conveyor belt down to a storage, and you know, you're lapping then, because you're collecting all these materials at the same time as doing it. But this is on single player at the moment, so if anybody wants to join, they gotta hit me up in chat, and I will then switch over to a multiplayer. But otherwise it'll stay on single. But I am currently streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. Well, we have we have jazz going at the moment. I did promise some blues. I am going to look and see if I can find some instrumental blues, non-copyright, actually. I shall have a look now, because this music is a little bit, what's the word, a little bit annoying sometimes. So what we'll do is we do YouTube, and then we go on to not that, even though I know you want to look at that. Trust me, you don't. Um, I'll get kicked off of friggin' air for that one. Non copyright blues. There is not enough there. So put filter on. Over 20 minutes. There we go. We got some dark blues on the go. 8 hours. We are not going to be streaming for 8 hours, but it'll last for 8 hours. Ooh. So we've got another 16,000, so yeah. I like this little setup that's here with the little grid that's on there. Take up. Right, so I started off with a little tiny space, and you can see that I've already cut most of it out. But the conveyor belt for that goes to the same place as the iron goes, the main hopper. The main hopper now has got a 10-speed power supply on it. The same as this. And this hopper here is actually a double hopper. Yeah, it's a double hopper, which means it moves more material. And if you look down to the left, because the conveyor belt is so long right now, it takes a while to get to over there. There it is. All of them should be piling up, which they are. So it's basically a double into a single, which then goes underneath the entire road, and it wasn't too hard to sort it out. A little bit challenging at certain spots. Hmm. Oh, that's not good. Looks to be filtering out, look. Doesn't really matter, because I mean we would be cutting into all of that anyway, so it's one of those where it had to be done. That's quite enjoyable. like the blues, especially Chicago blues. But I had a friend at one point that was actually in a blues band, based in New Orleans. And I'll tell you, you haven't heard. I mean, you could hear blues being played anywhere. I've heard blues being played all over the world, but in New Orleans, it's for some reason it's just different. You know, you walk into a bar for a drink in the middle of the day to quench your thirst, and you realise that there's 10 people in there just listening to the blues that's being played on a small stage at the back of, like the back of the room, with a guitarist, bass player, like a double bass, a proper piano, no microphones, no loudspeakers. It was amazing. I must have spent about 8 hours in the place. I only went in for a friggin', like a 20-minute job. But I must have been there. I was there like all night till closing. So, didn't really move out of my seat. So anyway, we are 10 points away from the big loaders. Once we get them, this job will seem like it never happened. It will just be done. But on the other hand as well, I would have to make a bigger hopper because it's a bigger machine. Try taking away that edge over there. See if that pit starts leading to nothing. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I do have um, my fingers in a few different pies, so to speak. Um, I have I'm the silent partner of a few different bars around the world, and one of them happens to be a Chicago blues club. Never used to be, but they used to get like big names playing in there. It was one of the first places after rising to stardom that B.B. King played at in Chicago. Originally, the building was it was a bar, but it was called something else. But it was the resident band that was in there was another blues band, and they made a couple of movies, and they were the Blues Brothers. So it does have its famous heritage. And like I said, B.B. King played there. A few other a famous bluesman played as well. From they were mostly come up on a tour, of the north, and they basically play there, and yeah. Now it's got they have a resident band that play every day, but they're open to having like the night stop and stuff like that to play elsewhere, which is fine. I have no issues with that. Technically it's not my call anyway. But at the end of the day, music is there to be shared with people. It's not there to be, well, put it this way, they haven't done a Prince, put it that way. So Prince, during his, well, being alive basically, he built a vault on his property, and in that vault, and bear in mind it's been locked for the last 20-something years, nearly 30 years. I was reading an article about it. Supposedly it had a load of songs in there that he never released, and it did. There was wall-to-wall, stuff in there. So he actually used to go to his own recording studio and lay down like a full album of say 30 songs, 30 to 60 songs. He used to create like between 5 and 8 is what they were saying per night. No practicing, no trying things out. It was literally like one take, and that was it. It was signed off on and put in the vault. And I mean, the guy literally per album was releasing like 12 to 14 songs per album, but there's still hundreds of thousands of songs in in this vault. So if you start seeing you know stuff to do with Prince, new songs from Prince and stuff, that's where they've come from. Not like the guy's still alive. Which, to be fair, is actually a shame as well that he died the way he did. Supposedly it was a OD on drugs, but I don't know. It sounds more like assisted suicide, but nobody would ever admit that. So I'm just getting rid of the roof because I've dug underneath. But it all gets processed. So I banned you. Give me a sec, I need to go ban somebody on Twitch. So that was a bot, if you don't know what that, if you don't know what a bot is. That's working, yeah. So that's a bot that keeps on asking me if I want to spend money to get viewers because they think I need it. It might be because I haven't streamed for a very long time, but the bot doesn't look at your current status, So if it did look at my status, it would notice that I've got about 107 followers and I don't need any help. To be fair, it was a friend of mine that persuaded me to start streaming again. I've got I don't just stream, I actually come with sponsors as well, so I have sponsorships. I have to keep a separation between other stuff I've got going on and this. So I do actually have another Twitch channel. It's in use. It's actually being used right now. We live stream motor racing, but only for our own needs. So it means I can go on there and have a look and make sure that the team that I've got in enduro racing is doing well. It also means that it's an uninterrupted live stream. So it means that it's not being messed around with like Sky Sports and stuff like that. It means they can't stop it. But I think, to be fair, I'm going to knock all this on the head in about 20 minutes, because I think the jet lag's finally catching up to me. I'm starting to feel tired. It doesn't mean that I won't be back later. Basically stream for an hour and then that'll be it for at the moment. Might not even make 20 minutes. Might happen in a minute or two. We should have enough coal by now anyway. Yeah, look at that. Plenty enough. Maybe. Yep. So what we're going to do as well is up at the top there, I got another option, or another thought, not another option but another thought. And what I could do is make like a village up there, or castle or something like that, just so that I don't, you know, because don't get me wrong, there is a crap ton of resources up there, you know, but there's also a lot of coal up there. I mean, there's a lot of coal here as well, down here still. And bear in mind, I started that. Oh, I started that with an L8. So I don't know how far up, you know, like how far up up the valley it goes. I know it goes pretty high. All of that is, you know, coal, all on that level. But we shall find out eventually. Anyway. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to disappear. So, thanks for watching for 40 minutes. Just under 30 minutes, I think it was. About 40 minutes. And I will catch you all later.